Hey everyone, Big Pauly back for a brand new movie review. Yes, I'm a couple of decades late, but I'm here to review Jaws, as I've recently been to see it in IMAX. So yeah, let's talk about it, and let's talk about the IMAX presentation. Okay, so everybody knows about Jaws, 1975, Steven Spielberg's absolute summer blockbuster classic, the film that started it all for the summer blockbusters. Now, I do own Jaws in 4K. I don't own a 3D. I don't believe there's ever been a 3D release of this film until now. And unfortunately, there was only one showing of 3D late at night in my local cinemas, so I didn't get a chance to check out the 3D, but from what I hear it's a really good post-conversion. I did, however, watch Jaws in 4K IMAX. Yes. First of all, a little bit about the film. Now, we all know the story of Jaws. It's about the story of a great white killer shark that's taunting the residents of this little island town called Amity. Now, Amity is policed by Roy Scheider, who plays Brody, and after an incident that happens in the harbour, he decides to bring in some outside help in the form of Hooper, who's kind of an oceanographer, yeah, who studies sharks and stuff like that, and also Quaint as well, who is literally a shark killer. He's a hunter. Of course, Brody is up against all the townsfolk and the officials, like the mayor and everybody, not to close the beaches on this island because of the July 4th celebrations. Literally, it would kill off the entire attraction for the tourists. Of course, there are further sightings and further attacks, and it's up to Brody, Hooper and Quaint to board the Orca, Quaint's boat, and literally go out, find this great white and put an end to it once and for all. Now, I've never really thought about it like this before, but the final act in this film reminds me of the Grand Tour and Top Gear, in a way that in Top Gear and the Grand Tour we have Clarkson, May and Hammond, and it's literally these three on a boat. You know, it's the way that they gel together, the way that they bounce off each other. Yeah, they have some harsh words here and there, but they're there for a reason. They're there to fulfill a task and to go out and to kill this shark. So that's the film. We all know the film, the best shark movie of all time. As for the presentation in IMAX, now I went to see E.T. for its 40th anniversary in IMAX a couple of weeks ago. It was really enjoyable. Great seeing this film back on the screen that size at an IMAX. They had altered the screen size a little bit, you know, by stretching it and pulling it. And from what I understand, segments off the side were cut off. And because they were kind of enlarging the film to fit an IMAX screen, there's a lot of grain and blurriness. Not too blurry, but overall it could have been a better presentation. But it was great seeing that film on the big screen, but for picture quality, you definitely have to do it on like a 4K at home. But like I say, it was great seeing the film on the big screen. Jaws, however, that was a different kettle of fish, so to speak. Yeah, this used up the entire 2x39x1. So this was the standard format that was filmed, you know, for Jaws. So yes, we had big black bars at the top of the screen and the bottom of the screen, about 6 foot or so. But we didn't lose any data off the side, you know, nothing was left off the side. It filled the entire letterbox type format of the screen. because it's IMAX, you're right there anyway, so it's right close up. And I have to say that this is one of the best 4K presentations for IMAX that I've seen so far. I know I've not seen that many on the big screen, but I could have swore that this was filmed yesterday. It looks so good, so crisp, so clear. The close-ups on Roy Scheider's face with all these blemishes and everything, and even like zits on Quaint's face, and beads of sweat and that. It was just fantastic. The best it's ever looked, and on a big screen like that, that's massive. So yeah, it looked brand new. The sound was really good. There was a lot of treble in the sound. It could have been a bit more punchier, a bit more, a bit more bass. The final act, when they blew the shark up, wasn't enough bass. And also John Williams' famous score could have been a bit bass here as well. So sometimes when there was a lot of townfolk talking over the top of each other, it was a little bit difficult to try and make out sometimes what they were talking about, because there was a lot of like high-pitched treble over voices, over voices, over voices. So yeah, but you could pretty much make out. I mean, if you've seen the film so many times, then you kind of know what the dialogue is anyway. As for did it scare me, because we've seen this film so many times, well, I must admit the shark still looks a little bit rubbery at times. It was great seeing Quaint get bitten in half on the big screen, and I mean on the IMAX screen. The red coming out of his mouth, it's like a red explosion when he got bitten in half. And the scene, of course, when Hooper dives down to the bottom of the boat to check out the hull, and the face appears. Yeah, I still jumped. It was a brave thing that Spielberg did when he made this film, because like within the first 20 minutes or so, you literally kill a child on screen. And usually children and dogs are usually off the table when it comes to first or second kills. So yeah, it was a great presentation. The music was fantastic. John Williams, spectacular. And there's not many directors out there that can kind of make the same film twice in his career, because basically Jaws is a retelling of Duel. Or you swap the lorry for the shark. He's still terrorising people. So there we go. So that is my little review of Jaws, the IMAX presentation. I'd like to check it out in 3D, because I hear there is some good depth and there is some poke out the screen moments that I'd like to check out. So maybe I'll get that opportunity, I'll get that chance. But for now, Jaws, classic on the big screen in IMAX. You've got to do it. You've really got to do it. Now, I'm changing a few things about how I review films from now on. So I'll still give my usual rating, but I'm also going to do a rating for the picture and the sound quality. I think that's important so that people can get an idea of if it is a good picture, if there are any problems, if there are any imperfections, and how the sound affects you as well. So for Jaws in IMAX, I'm going to give the picture quality a 10 out of 10. Absolutely spot on, spotless, crystal, pin sharp 4K presentation on a screen that big, so you're not losing any detail. For the sound, I'm going to give it 7.8 out of 10. Like I say, it could have been punchier, could have been a bit more bass, but overall it was a really good soundtrack. As for the film itself, it's got to be a 10 out of 10. Like I say, one of the best films of all time, Spielberg classic, and probably the greatest summer blockbuster of all time. So there we go. That is my review of Jaws, the IMAX presentation. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Like it by giving it some thumbs up. Blah, 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 blah. Don't forget to subscribe, comment and share. See you on the next video very soon. Bye bye.